And we're back for another episode. In this episode, we're going to be doing Heavensturn 2020. And as always, hello from Mithrie. So we are here at the Av Castle in Upper Minza at 11:13, and we need to talk to Nemizu Bugyo. So let's do it. The quest is called Mochi to be Desired. So the Nemizu Bugyo requires assistance in overcoming cultural barriers. So, but you have the air of someone who has spent time abroad. Are you perhaps an adventurer, a woman practiced in acquainting yourself with various cultures? I come from the Far East, you see, where we celebrate Heavensturn just as the people of Eorzea do. But rather than a god like the 12, we choose an animal to represent the coming year. This year belongs to the foremost beast among them, the rat, and celebration of the rat's glory must not be confined to far eastern shores. Thus, I did don a festive kabuto in the name of sharing our customs with all the world. I was confident that I could easily surpass my dull-witted compatriots, those who have ventured to these foreign lands representing inferior beasts in years past, and in this task, alas, all has not gone to plan. As the rat is considered a symbol of plenty and harbinger of fortune in my homeland, I thought to grace the people of Eorzea with the opportunity to pound mochi and make advent cakes alongside these lofty creatures. Alas, the people of Eorzea seem loath to touch tubs of mochi, loosely, whatever, with rats, nor eat their laboriously prepared cakes. Guys, you would have thought after like 1400 episodes I would learn how to read, but nope. This can likely be attributed to cultural differences, as I mentioned previously. The trouble with cultural bias, of course, is that people often do not recognize it within themselves, let alone make an effort to overcome it on their own. No, if they are to ever understand the rat's superiority, I must do the work of convincing them. Unfortunately, I am uncertain as to what manner of local superstition about rats has given rise to their aversion, and without that knowledge, I have no means I don't even know that word, I'm not going to try. Their discomfort. Assessing, maybe? So, might I impose upon you to speak with the townspeople here on my behalf? I am afraid they will not share their honest thoughts with me for fear of causing offense. So, you have my thanks. Perhaps you might begin with that elderly woman over there. She refused my invitation to join the festivities earlier. Unsurprising, perhaps, as the elderly are often set in their ways. Okay, fair enough. So we need to go to there, so close by at least. Let's do it. So I've spent the better part of my life trying to keep rats out of the grain stores. I can't imagine why I'd want them touching my food, filthy creatures. And in my case, the idea of animals cooking is ludicrous. Even if there were, say, a particularly intelligent dog, I would still have no hands. Anyway, this all seems fairly obvious, and ask anyone, they'll tell you the same. Okay, fair enough. So, getting the impression that they don't like animals. How dare they? Anyway, let's carry on. So, Boulder Dash. Let a rat in your pantry and it will eat out your house and home. Not cook your dinner. Not that you'd want it to, unless you think pestilence the finest spice. If only a rodent will do for your purposes. However, you might try something like a rat, but rather more sentient. A beast that's also a man, if you catch my drift. Cocoon? Quite. They look like rats, squeak like rats, chew through your unattended grain sacks like rats, but are not, in fact, rats. They can even use cutlery. I doubt you'll find anyone here willing to eat food prepared by rats, but Kikern are another story. At least with them, you can be reasonably certain that the rice wasn't pounded with the tiny plague-ridden feet. And there's one right over there, Nenarune, I think his name was. Okay. Where is Nenarune? Okay, he's all the way over there, so let's go. It's like sometimes I do find reading this a bit of a struggle, but whatever. I do it for me. You have a tale of Heavensturn to tell. Easterner say rats bring fortunate fortunes. Cultural difference, different indeed. Laminsans think rats are dirty because rats eat anything, even though eating is normal reaction to edible things. We also eat edible things, so often offended by offensive comparison to rats. Nerarune think Kikern in land where rats fought to bring fortune very fortunate. A striking idea, strike me. The Nenarune help you to help Ratman make rats popular with Laminzan populace. Then Kikern gain favor by favorable comparison. Good. Then Nenarune follow you as a follower to help you as a helper. Okay, so let's talk now to the Bugyo, and let's see what we have to do next. Okay, here we are. You have returned, and I see you have a majestic rodent in your company. This must be a sign that my fortunes are improving as we speak. So in Eorzean culture, rats are considered unclean. That does explain the reactions. Yes, rats and rat-like Kikern both. Too many hasten to hasty judgments. Nenarune think it's better to better reputation of rats and Kikern at the same time. Propose we work together. A marvelous idea. As I would expect from one such as furry features and elongated snout. With our wiles combined, we ought to be able to overcome the people's preconceptions, culturally ingrained or no, and bring fortunate fortunes to all. Bugyo, we have a problem. Well, another one. Has something gone wrong with the mochi now? Unfortunately so. As you know, I have been hard at work preparing the mochi, pounding rice into an amorphous mass, and all going to plan, or so it seemed, until the mochi began to jiggle on its own. I'm afraid that it's alive. So, yes, I quite understand your surprise, but we have no time for it. I know not whether the issue arose because I used miraculous yet unpredictable waters of Daintanzan's soul spring in the preparation. It seemed a good idea at the time, or if it is simply down to the peculiar aether in this foreign land, but in any case we must act. I propose that we take up arms and cut the mochi into advent cakes before its newfound sentence drives it to get any ideas. What say you, my friend? You have proven yourself to be unflappable in the face of danger, even that of a peculiar nature. So Nenarune will cut cuttings from mochi too. Ratman's event too important to have cut short. I'm glad to hear it. Good people of Eorzea, please join us at the Zypher Drift at your earliest convenience. I myself shall head there post-haste. Let the mochi wander off. Sorry, lest the mochi wander off. So this event has been troublesome indeed. but we shall persevere. We cannot let the year of the rat arrive without proper welcome. Okay. So, where do we need to go? Okay, so we need to do the fate there. So once we get there, we will continue. Okay, here we are. So let's enable. I have to wait a while for this to spawn, but whatever. Let's go. Let's do it. I think when it comes to these sort of creatures, usually they split into little bits, and then you have the opportunity to kill them, basically. If they merge back together, then they can regain their size. Is that it? Done. Okay, so once we get back to the Bugyo, we will continue. Okay, so we made it back, so now let's talk to him again. So, the size, the shape, this is truly magnificent work. You are a rat among men, to be sure. Now, the Mintons can tasty taste of mochi, and see rats bring fortunate fortunes after all. No doubt they would. The issue remains, however, how to entice them to taste it to begin with. Aho, a Far Eastern Bugyo. Here for Heavensturn, are ya? Just so, good sir. I am the Nemzumi Bugyo, come bearing the traditional Heavensturn Advent cakes. How might I help you? Allow me to introduce myself. Lingzaf, head of the Culinarians Guild and proprietor of the Bismarck besides. I've got a solid sense of smell. Comes with the territory, and I caught a whiff of the most enticing aroma emanating from here's about. I reckon it's coming from them advent cakes you mentioned. Try one, try one. These advent cakes, freshly cut by Cocoon and Rat, an adventurer, neither Cocoon or Rat. So you're one of the chefs what's made these. Remarkable. Didn't know there were Cocoon culinarians. Oh, neither no chef, only helper, helping with cuts. Give yourself some credit. It takes a lot to prepare a dish, and if you put in the work to make these, you're qualified to call yourself an assistant culinarian at least. Lol. So, just as good as it smells. Fascinating texture, really. Chewy, but not in a bad way. The flavour is subtle and just a bit sweet. I can tell you used right fine rice. Pure water, too. There's something else, though, such as gives it perfect consistency. A special technique or something. As you say, we use the finest ingredients from our homeland. The techniques involved are traditional as well. However, I dare say that they are not the special something which you detect. For that, good sir, is passion. The devotion of myriad rats who made the arduous journey from the Far East to bring fortune to your fair land. The fervent hopes of Nenarune, who labours for the sake of his people. This random adventurer's zeal for violence. All have combined to create these superlative advent cakes. Ha! Passion, is it? I know something of that myself. It seems that we've got a lot in common, despite coming from different places. Just so happens I've got an interview with the Arbor's Herald later on. If alright, I'd like to mention your advent cakes. Let people know that they can get them during Heavensturn. Could be a good opportunity for cultural exchange and all that. The Harbour Herald, so many readers would read of our mochi. And the public will have little excuse to eschew our advent cakes once a renowned culinarian has vouched for them. So, on behalf of rats everywhere, I thank you for your assistance, sir. And you as well, adventurer. Your service shall not be forgotten. I will personally ensure that rats watch over you wherever you may go. You're very welcome. Bring on the rats. Very well. Now that if you'll excuse me, we must go forth and prepare to bring our advent cakes to the masses, who shall soon doubtless be clamouring for a fair plague's worth of rats to descend on their city. Cool. So that's complete. Done. So we got the achievement, Momochi, Momochi, Momochi. Now, before we leave, let's see if we can buy anything else. There's usually like some sort of vendor or something. There you go, Far Eastern vendor. So if we want to get all of them, we need 5 and 5, which is what we got. So we got, because we got 10 for finishing the fate. So let's exchange 5. Boom. And let's exchange 3. Get that. Boom. And then you have 2 left, so let's get 1. And let's get that. Done. So basically by doing the fate once and getting gold, you're able to buy basically everything. So yeah. So anyway guys, that's it for this episode. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And as always, goodbye from me and goodbye from Mithrie. Bye guys.